What is a board game social club? Mattox and I are joined by Amy and Jen Hood of Hoodzpah Design to try to answer just that. Here's what they had to say.
They let me out of the cage and I get to join in on the fun. I've been cooped up.
Well,
Just
we're
trying to
like
make
digitally
games.
here, and we have guests. We have two really awesome guests, Jen and Amy Hood. Welcome.
Hi.
Hello. Thank you for having us.
We are the party crashers for today.
It is the Hoodzpah.
Hoodzpah.
Hoodzpah, is that how you say Hoodzpah? The C is
So
part
first
of
question.
that.
We've gotten
The Hoodzpah,
Hoodzpah.
yeah.
We've gotten Hoodzpah
I mean,
before, which is
I'm gonna want to say it that way.
The
from
grand
now on.
which I
Hootapah
actually prefer.
girls.
It sounds
The
like
grand
Cartman
Hootapah.
saying it, like
No.
Hoodzpah. But it's Hoodzpah or Hoodzpah.
This is why they don't invite me into things. I
You
already
mean
have
like-
derailed this
How did you
conversation.
it's descended into chaos immediately.
I know. I'm sorry. Jen, please.
Yes,
or
please.
Jen one. Jen.
Two Jens.
Jen
Two
Grant
Jens.
Mock. Will you?
Love it.
Two Jens.
I like
today.
working with creative people also named Jennifer as well. But Amy is an important part.
Yeah,
Of
throw me in
Hoodzpah.
there. Throw me in there too.
Yeah. So, well, we're joined here because we're here to talk about a cool thing that we did together, and we wanted to spend time highlighting y'all because we got to collaborate on something super fun. It is Board Game Social Club. And Board Game Social Club is sort of like, we have this kind of like outstanding question, what is Board Game Social Club? Which I think is still an ongoing, like there's still a question for us, like what is this?
It was a great
this
moment at a
thing?
conference.
We talked about it.
Where someone walked up to me. I had the pin on. We'll talk
No,
about it
no,
more.
talk
I guess
about it
I'm
now.
stealing some thunder here, but sure. All right. Well, we're at the conference. We'll talk about some of the stuff that we made with these wonderful women. And one of the things is a pin, and it says Board Game Social Club on it. And someone came up to me and was like, "Oh, what's Board Game Social Club?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's this fun thing that just celebrates board games with like a bunch of design stuff, you know." And they're like, "So is it like on a Discord server or like a Slack? Like, do you talk about games there or whatever?" And I was like, well, I guess, yeah, you could do that if you wanted to like create one around it, but we were just making like a fun made up social club around board games where we just celebrated board game culture. So it is an ever evolving thing as we were figuring out as people come up, and it was really weird to,
So
to be like,
the moral
yeah,
is the people already want
Go ahead.
more. They already want more.
That's right.
exactly that is the biggest
can we
takeaway here.
redesign Discord in order to just have it be a home for Board Game Social Club? That is a Board Game Social Club. Are y'all, Amy
right.
and Jen, would y'all be good
Well,
with
let's talk about
just redesigning a server? That's totally fine.
Sure.
We can just build it from the ground up.
Oh yeah. No
Ground
worries.
up, no problem.
Great. So you've heard it here
For the love of the
first.
game.
we can talk about the origination of Board Game Social Club and how we even arrived at that as we were working with artists. And on Art and Things, we freaking love making games. We really want to make a game with y'all also. But as we were working with games, it's like, man, can be a year-long process or more of working on mechanics, the art in the game and whatnot, along with getting it to production and things. And we feel like we came out of graphic design and illustration backgrounds, and we just love like posters or fun paraphernalia and swag and all that stuff. And we felt like y'all were making so much cool stuff that was just fun design pop / culture stuff, from pins to mugs to shirts that we really love. I wear my shirt all the time. And it was like, let's work with designers to make these like quicker products, right? That was like, hey, let's make a fun shirt or something that doesn't just throw our logo on something. Jen, your shirt looks great. But also that also like celebrates or does something fun in a quirky way that y'all are kind of known for. And so that was where this project kind of originated out of like a quicker timeline of like, let's make this thing. This actually isn't started back in June though, and now it's like 8 months later. So it's almost,
6 months.
Just goes to show that Keymaster moves slow, but we are working on this as a quicker, like, let's make these fun products and work with designers that allow for these quicker timelines to make stuff together, whether it be those sort of fun stuff. So that was where it originated.
Was top of the list. It was sort of like, let's do this thing. Who'd be really cool to work with? Hoodzpah would be really cool to work with. Let's make a list of cool people we want to work with, and we're just like, Hoodzpah would be really cool to work with. And
1 through 10 on the list was just Hoodzpah. Like you had lost your mind.
Well, it alternated between Jen, Amy, Jen, Amy,
right.
Jen, Amy, but for the most part,
but that begs the question: who
Will you repeat
are
that, Jen?
you?
It just like Hoodzpah. This is a question of who is Hoodzpah.
Oh, forcing the pun there, Mattox. Forcing the pun.
Sorry.
We'll see how much
I
of a
know,
tally of
listen,
how many
I
dad
got-
jokes he tries to incorporate into the interview. It's fine.
Oh man. Well, Hoodzpah, we are a brand identity type design. Well, we say type design, but we shouldn't because we're in the presence of greatness when it comes to type
Oh
design.
my gosh, not at all.
Trying to edge in on that community because
Yes.
we've definitely done a lot of custom lettering and word marks for logos. It's natural to try and want to like build that out into more full like blown typefaces, which huge thanks to Mattox for helping us figure that out. But so that's what we do with Hoodzpah. But in between brand projects, there's always the opportunity to do illustration and t-shirts and swag for clients. And so of course, when you all came to us and we're like, hey, let's just do it for fun, which we also do internally for Hoodzpah just for kicks. We have a little shop where we have, a bunch of, to be honest, it's just junk that we like. So yeah, we're like, oh yeah, let's collaborate because we are big board game fans. And we hadn't had one of your all's board games until recently. But I mean, we grew up playing Scrabble and Guess Who was like the pinnacle of games for us. And then
we got a game recently called Cloaked Cats that I've been playing, and it's like the next riff on Guess Who. It's a really fun style game where you're different cats and you're trying to guess which cat is which person. But it's like, if you like Guess Who, it's a great. Sorry, I'm just like jumping into it.
I want a celebrity edition of Guess Who.
Oh,
I think it would be so hysterical.
And the rules are like you have to say like a movie or a part they were in.
Oh,
you know
that
what I
would be
mean?
good.
Like,
okay, yeah.
Listen, save these ideas. We can't just release these publicly.
I feel like y'all would be the type of people that have like a chalkboard, like this really old running tally of wins and losses from your plays of Guess Who across.
Well, as twins, it is embedded in you, the tally. There's a very strong sense of justice, like who last did what, whose turn it is to do what, especially when you run a business together. It's like, I did that last time.
Y'all are basically
like
Paul and John, right? Just the talent there, but the competition is there, but you're working together, but it's like, oh,
Who's
gotta
next on board for writing a song?
That is such a good point. And also I loved that whole Get Back thing. I want to rewatch it with fresh eyes again. Like it was so amazing. But I do love that analogy because Jen and I work so differently. It's like the talent's there probably equally, but we both have completely equally.
I wonder which way she's skewing.
We have completely different like working styles. Like I'm like Paul, like completely driving everyone insane, trying to get us all to work more. And Jen's definitely more like, who would you be, George or John?
I mean, I love George, but let's be honest, he was a bit of like an anchor on the boat.
He was just like at some point you just start doing it.
Actually, Jen, you might be Ringo.
I am a Ringo. I will flex to the situation. I think that means I'm a 9 Enneagram or whatever. I think that's a Ringo pretty much.
Yeah.
Ringo.
Except I do also just like to mess around. I'm like, let's just enjoy it, which is a bit of a John move, really. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
I'm an 8 on the Enneagram. So
are you? Wait, what's an 8? I'm a 7.
8 is what they label as 8 holes. Basically, they're like the challenger. They're like the turd. We can say this, I guess.
What's problematic?
I am shocked. You're so helpful and supportive.
What is unique
to
our
like, wait till you meet the real him.
Our teams were both 8s, so.
Oh, I love this. I'd love to be on a like a closed door meeting of Team Master. It's just like doing things and like yelling.
One of our call outs is we need to be
Do
heard.
It better, Jen.
It's a really important piece is like this feeling of being heard. So there's a lot of like, no, I don't listen.
Listen to my idea and why it's better than all the other ideas, please.
Yes.
But yeah, I love the Beatles documentary.
Competitive. And I think that's why we like board games, because we also like to have a lot of fun and we like to be productive. So board games really encapsulate all of that.
Yeah, for sure.
But we got your Caper board game and we played it for the first time the other day. And it was so
fun.
Head
to head.
Yes, because it's hard to find games where you can play with, small groups, namely me and Amy. So usually you need at least 4 people that you enjoy enough to invite over to play a board game with. So, but yeah, it was.
And it's kind of hitting at the wrong time. Quarantine wise, it would be great for the 2-player.
Yes.
You're living together, whatnot. But yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
coming out now. But Caper, you played. This was like jumping in from Scrabble and Guess Who and into Caperland. That's quite the plunge into it.
Quite the jump, yes. Well, I had already just recently tried to teach my little sister how to play Egyptian Rat Slap. Do you guys remember that game where there's like doubles and like sandwiches and like the king is this, the jack is this,
and you get
cards are
very
this.
violent.
Yeah. And
your hands are
they're
red
also
and
just
bleeding
so
by
much
the
more
end of it.
dexterous
It's
than
just
we
like,
are, where you're just like, I'm losing really badly.
yeah, that's my little sister was so pissed. She's like, I hate this game. But so I had just recently explained a complicated game, but Caper was like a little bit of a learning curve, but we kind of played along with the rules the first time. We got it like 50% right. And then the second time we were like it fully made sense. And it was so fun. And I was surprised at how much strategy there is in it. It's like kind of like playing, like I started playing video games this year and I'm playing Divinity. And it felt like that. Like you have to like pick okay, this guy has this power, like this tool, this, whatever it is. It's kind of interesting.
Yes, it like that's the goal. I feel like is like subverting like the expectation of like Josh Emmerich did all the art for Caper, did this like wonderful, just quirky world that, he's crazy. He's so much fun to work with. And it lulls you in of like, oh, this looks like it's fun and quirky. And then it's like, whoa, there's this like whole other level of strategy here along with the more, and then it's fun. Yeah. The first learning experience is always hard. We experience that with a lot of our games, and we're trying to figure out ways to make that as easy as possible, whether it's videos or follow-up emails to be like, hey, here's what you should plan. Like for people jumping into games for the first time in a long time, and you might crack open a box and y'all super nicely work through it together and like, let's learn the rules as we play. But if you have like 6 people around the table and you're like, wait, like 30 minutes later, you're still
and everyone's
taking
2 drinks in. It's like, it's hard.
Now we're back to charades.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard enough to play Settlers of Catan after a few drinks, So it's like you really gotta. Yes. But you guys are great at that, though. You all are great because, first of all, the branding's all on point. So
so gorgeous.
You all just did the rebrand with Focus Lab, right?
Yeah.
And
they were wonderful.
I mean, beautiful, stunning work. Focus Lab. Everybody look them up. They're incredible. But from like the point of the sale on the website all the way through to even just the instructions, like the brand consistency as far as like just the delight in every piece being so intentional. Sure. It's like a 101 course in branding. Like it's just so well done, especially for like, consumer packaged goods, like direct to consumer stuff where it's like, you can control every, point of it. It's just it was so beautiful. And there's like gold foil on the box. Well done.
You can keep going. I'm just like loving this. All like
retitle this interview. Reasons from the community to buy behavior.
Go by.
But I've seen a lot more creatives and designers doing games. There must be something in our brains that we like that challenge because Dan Casaro and Christofferson of Young Jerks and their crew are making one, and it's almost more like Domino's style.
I saw that. It looks so cool.
Yeah. It does look really cool. Yeah.
And then our friend Chris Porter, who's also a brand strategy and creative, like he just made his own like full-blown Avengers game, like a full game just for his one friend for his bachelor party. I was like, this is dedication at a level I have never seen before.
That is a best.
He's never been the best man. Can you imagine
he
wasn't?
Listen, we can renew our vows. If y'all want to do a creative thing around, we're happy. We can set something up. That's fine.
Okay, I'll leave to make me best one.
That sense of competition between the twins. All right. Well, I have a burning question. I'm trying to get to the bottom of, is this a symptom of all twins or not? How do y'all get to work at the same thing? I'm gonna be neutral Switzerland and say equally creative. I don't know. It's produced from both of you. I'm not told who's done what. So how do you get to be doing doing that together and getting and being successful at it? That seems like layers and layers of complication that I'm both like, I'm like, how does this work? But I'm also it is obviously working well because the stuff that you're producing is incredible.
Oh, thank you so much. I think after watching the Beatles documentary, it's a lot like that because one of us will have like the kind of like key creative control over the project. And then the other one kind of jumps in with ideas and does like the ideation phase with us. So like if I'm the head on the project, Jen will always do sketching and ideation with me always. We always help each other with ideation. And then she provides feedback and that kind of thing. But we try to keep one person as point person. person, and then that person delegates,
and that person always has the final say, because there are points where we both just have differing opinions, but we, at the end of the day, we trust each other's creativity. And we had to learn that. We're like, okay, just because I differ in my opinion than you doesn't mean that we both don't have good instincts, obviously, and that we don't think that we both have the best intentions for the project. So just as like a final kind of like tiebreaker, someone has to be the owner of the project, and then the other person always is just like, fine, whatever, and concedes. So we did have
like
to set some
that
ground
legally
rules.
defining a quorum. Like, what constitutes a quorum here? Or can it just be two people? If we have differing opinions, do you need that third person?
Right.
Define
exactly.
quorum.
I just went with it. I don't know what
in my mind.
Oh, you don't know either. Okay, we'll Google it later.
Legally, I don't know if it's two or more people.
Okay, got it.
But basically, y'all are Paul and John, but you tell each other you love each other, and that's what gets you through, and that's why y'all are still together after so many years, still making stuff.
That's it. And I feel for the Beatles, because it's like you could tell they loved each other and they were really trying to make it work, even though there was like clashing of heads. I feel for them. So yeah, we've all been there with even just business partners you're not related to. We've all been there. So yeah,
it's resulted in you getting to do work for some pretty cool clients. Some of which include the Lakers, right? In fact, you can call me. I saw Lakers, and I was like, and I clicked on that, and those were some cool illustrations in there. There was like illustrations and font typeface work, and
yeah. Oh, it was so exciting working on that project because we're huge fans and we're local. And
when we got the call, it was like, it's happening. It's happening. Everything's led to this.
One moment in time.
It's like, I don't know if we have the rights.
Whitney Houston was singing From Heaven, and it was all.
And then when you got the Keymaster one after that, it was even more.
That is actually like who sang From the Heavens when you got the call from Keymaster? Whitney was the Lakers.
Ooh, would it been?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh,
think about this one.
You've also got to do really cool work for Pixar, right? Disney Pixar. I don't know who pays the bills on that, but
Disney Studios and Pixar. Yeah, I think.
Interestingly, some movies are just Disney, some movies are just Pixar, and some movies are Disney Pixar, and we don't know why or how.
Fascinating rabbit hole. Questions.
Mm-hmm.
They just get an email from Fred, and then they send them beautiful typography there, and then it appears in these beautiful.
But I will say that it is almost like that magical how it all came about. But it is a string of events. Nothing is like, just comes like out of nowhere. But it all goes back to someone searching hashtags to find like lettering and type work. And we hashtag the crap out of all of our posts. It's like, why even posts aren't going to hashtag? Or I mean, I guess for your own love of it. But if you're trying to promote and sell yourself, like, why not just use them, So the art director from 20th Century Fox found us that way and brought us in on some projects. And
shout out to Neri Rivas.
Neri Rivas, yes, he's like seriously so kind and has been like so generous all throughout our experience with him. And then he referred us once they got bought out by Disney to the Disney team, and that's how we got brought in on that. So, but it just goes to show that like just put it out there, right? Like post it. What can you lose? I mean, if something might come of it just from someone like trolling the hashtags, you know what I mean? Like
and y'all stuff. I mean. I was just looking at the Encanto work of the typography for that, and how it takes these themes and puts them into the type is just so much fun. I was so impressed, and it was just like, I'm sure they don't show you a ton of, or you're under NDA if you are watching any of it, but just that you all are doing such a good job of like pulling the themes of that movie and putting them in the simplest place of the word mark and whatnot. It's so much fun.
It's so fun, and it's like a puzzle, because they're all about like, they really do like simplicity, and yet it has to have a lot of personality, and they always like to have some kind of hidden nod to the story, which is hard because a lot of times the story's not finished, or they can't tell us everything or show us everything about the story. So it's like,
sounds nothing like where we're at with our projects or anything like that when
we're vague briefs. No. But I mean, Disney is such a huge company, and there's so many cogs in making a movie. Mattox, you probably know this a little from like your work with like, they've used your typefaces on things before, but I mean, there's so many pieces and there's so many people involved that like sometimes they don't even have like, just can't tell us that much yet, and they can't even show that much.
So they're like, this is, kind of like, but this isn't final. This is kind of what this is like, but it's not final, So you're kind of like, okay, but this is a main theme. And then you're just kind of, trying to imagine it from there. So it can be really tough, and you really just hope that you're understanding the general vibe and that you're giving them something that might work in the end. But the great thing about them is, I think, is that well, it has to be legible at small sizes, obviously, because it's going to be on, streaming platforms and stuff like that. It still is a very more is more execution request. And that's totally our vibe. It's just like somewhat literal, funky, quirky type. Like, we always love doing that kind of thing. So yeah, it's a blast.
It's a great fit. Yeah.
And speaking of the more and more, maybe this is a transition there, but just like when we worked with y'all, I think it started too when I think y'all did a dentist branding and like made a sweet shirt, and I was like, I want to wear a dentist shirt. This is awesome. Like, it just looks so.
For a dentist office, right? And I was like, that place is dope.
Yeah.
Get my teeth cleaned there.
Yeah.
It's called Happy Tooth in Salt Lake City.
What a great
they're
name.
in Orange County too.
I know, it's so cute.
Gosh.
And they're incredible. They have a half-court basketball court. We have to brand the half-court in their doctor's office. It's like insane.
Yeah.
And so when we like reached out with y'all, it was obviously like, man, if y'all can make happy teeth things, this is great. Let's make some fun stuff. And there was more is more. Like, y'all came up with so many fun ideas, and it was on our end was kind of hard to be like, well, which one should we go with? There's so much good here. But funnily, back into that board game social club idea, that was something that originated from y'all. Was that just riffing on stuff and?
Yeah, well, I know we were talking about how it's just like everybody loves, games to some extent. Everyone has that like game twister or whatever about playing.
Yeah.
We're like, how fun would it be to just like make a fake badge that celebrated the fact that we're all part of this board game social club, The only problem is there really isn't any social club, and apparently that's causing confusion. But
no, it's good. We want people to ask those questions.
That's the thing, though. It's like this unspoken.
Exactly. No, it's kind of like luring them in,
No, I think it's great.
Like, what is that? Can I be a member? It's like literally anyone can be. Just buy the swag and you're in.
That's your membership price, is the buying of the swag.
Yes.
But no, for real, I think that like you're saying, it's like there is this like unspoken community-ness of like when I'm talking to someone and I've like known them for maybe like 6 months or something, and then they're like, oh, I like board games. And I'm like, wait, what? You like board games? I like board games. There's just like this moment of realization, and you feel like you're a part of this community.
Just like it's board games
and the game community
have been like the gateway to so many of my modern friendships. Like, it's like you have friends with people you went to high school with, or people you went to college with. Well, how do you get friends after that?
Adult softball.
Other than adult softball.
And board game night.
Oh, right.
But also board games. Maybe that's the next iteration. We'll do a softball for a fun board game social club.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
But you're so right, though. And it's like, it's one of those few things where it's like phones are away and it's quality time.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's really cool about it, is like, you're not just sitting in front of the TV. You're not sitting on your phone in the same room with someone. You're actually like actively making new memories and having fun and finding out how insanely competitive your friends are. And
yeah, that's the thing. It can just so much like allow these fun opportunities of like, I just met this person, and like if we were talking, they might be more reserved, or like, hey, we're feeling it out and saying like, okay, cool. But like in a game, like where you're lying to someone and you're like, no, I'm totally good. And that person like will just come out of their shell and just be like, you are totally a liar right now. I saw your card and you're lying. And it just allows for these moments, like you're saying, to have like these great connections and stuff. Do y'all have any fun, ridiculous stories of any board game events or things that y'all have experienced?
Gosh, so many memories. Like I think I was saying earlier, but Egyptian rat slap at music camp. We went to this orchestra camp every year, and like we should have been practicing because it was an expensive camp, but we would just like sit in the hallway and just like these huge games of like 12-person Egyptian rat slap.
Oh my.
Yeah. And
then there was all the times
like rules of like, you can't wear rings. The girls aren't allowed to wear rings.
Oh, yeah. Correct.
Yes. You get wrecked.
Yes, you do.
And then we used to throw poker nights, like when we lived in Newport, and that was really fun. And I love games. And then my friend used to have Settlers of Catan nights. We used to go over there all the time, and it was like such a fun way to meet new people and just, a reason to just hang out,
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
That's
there's
awesome.
the excuse to, assert your intellectual dominance by playing Scrabble.
That's right.
Is it intellectual,
The real reason
or
why
are
we
you
play
just,
Jen.
like getting to the triple word score? Like, you can get to the triple word score
It's
first.
so annoying.
Exactly,
I have a gripe because in our family, no one likes playing with Jen because she wins every game all the time. And it's so annoying. And so we're all
She
just
can't
like,
help
everyone's,
it.
yeah, she's like, who's like the star that everyone loves to hate? I guess LeBron. She's like the LeBron because everyone is just like, let's just
We're
all beat
all
Jen.
actually
That's the goal.
jealous.
Like, we don't even want to win for ourselves. It's just beat LA chance, basically.
I hear that.
Oh
Yeah,
my
Scrabble
gosh.
is a sort of what is it, like a heritage or an heirloom game in my family. There's like an expectation that it will be played and you will be good at it. It's a lot of pressure.
Oh,
Like
wow.
there will be
Yes.
300-point scores or
It's not like you're gonna
400-point
be a
scores in
Harvard
this game.
style.
So like if you're not getting there, like why even sit down? Honestly.
Letting the family name
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
Mm.
But I love that. So like, I really love that. I think that the 3 designs that y'all came up with for Board Game Social Club, like totally captured a vibe. It's just like proof in the pudding of us being like, I don't know, we have this like super vague idea about something that could be cool, and mostly we just want to work with cool people, but quicker. That was like our treatment for you. And then you came up with like creating this side, like really like blossoming this idea, which is super cool. I'd love to hear y'all talk about like some of the ideas and the iteration that went into. So there's 3 things that y'all made. You made a pin, an enamel pin, a t-shirt, and a mug, a coffee mug that we all love using regularly. The coffee mug regularly appears in meetings. And wash only.
Hand wash only.
I do have a question. Can I microwave it?
I think so.
Yes. Okay.
But our
Matt behind the
microwave,
scenes is saying yes.
our microwave broke shortly after microwaving with it in there. So it could have
Interesting.
broken the microwave, but it can sustain microwave waves.
Yeah.
It will beat the microwave, is what we're
That's
saying.
right.
In
If
the
If anyone's
microwave
losing,
coffee
yeah.
mug duel.
Yeah. What was the process? Jen, you were the kind of the mastermind behind like the concepts, and then you kind of
Mastermind are
delegated to
still
me on this
thinking in
one.
Caper
Yeah,
Europe
well-
terms. I like it.
Yeah, I know. Huh? Well, generally, I think the T-shirt was the one that we went like most like full on out with. But on that one, we wanted to try and allude to some of like the most like iconic board games, including some of your alls like Caper. But obviously, it's hard because copyright restrictions. So we were like, well, we can't do like specific things. But we did a car that kind of alluded to life, and then we did I think a pawn that alluded to chess if
Or
you're old
sorry,
school.
yeah.
Or sorry, yeah, they kind of both look the same.
Yeah.
And then some of the little pieces from Caper and that kind of thing. So that was really fun just to kind of, it's almost like Easter eggs. And if people can
Totally.
spot it, like, it's just another fun way to get people involved. So
Yeah. I think the whole idea was just like, what's a fun way to like get people to rally behind a cause, and what does people love clubs? It's so fun to feel like you're a part of a club. Like members only jackets, everyone loves them. Like, just any of those things that kind of feels special. And like you felt, like Mattox said, you found your community. So I love that people are actually wanting you all to make like Discord channels and stuff. I think you should totally do it.
or at least like a Facebook group. Not
like some sort of group where people can like jump in and say, I'm having trouble like learning this or, whatever.
So what I'm hearing is you're on board for Letterman jackets next? Is that what I heard?
Yes,
Ooh,
yes.
Embroidered, yeah.
Like room for patches. Patches are making a comeback, right? Draplin from BDC. He does all kinds of awesome patches. He's got some nice music patches and stuff. I'm here for it. I just need a place to put them. Right.
Just need a blank canvas.
Yeah.
You have to be
know,
careful
y'all-
putting things in front of Jen. Beautiful stuff. She's just like,
I
I gotta
mean,
have
like
it. I
in
gotta
my
have that
head, I
thing
was
now.
like, Board
I
Game
just
Social
need
Club
it.
is going to be the thing that I use to have us make stuff that I like. So
Genius. I love
I like
it.
board games too.
That's great. We're going to see you on the
Disclaimer.
first one.
Well, sweet. Well, I think we're coming up on the 30-minute mark here. And
Time flies.
I know. We should have some sort of closing, like, fun question. Let's see.
Jen Mott, we're putting you on the spot. What is it?
It's so funny. I keep
Ooh.
wanting to call Jen Gabriel Mott.
Jen Gabriel.
And that-
I don't know. Or Sin City, or no, not Sin City. Spirit. He was in that other.
Yeah.
What city did Caper Europe make you want to visit next?
Oh my gosh. I've never been to Europe, so I wanted to go to all
Literally
cities.
anywhere.
Yeah,
The
I
city of
know,
Europe.
I've never
Got
been.
it.
And, yeah.
The city of Europe.
What an American answer. The city of Europe.
What is a city
Can you
anyway?
tell them
It's
it's
funny because the tourist in the game kind of looks like y'all. And Yeah, like a little
okay, now I have to
beret.
look at the card again. It's so
I
fun.
see it. I could see it.
Yeah.
You walk around.
I can't believe all the artwork Josh Emmerich made for that.
Oh,
Like,
man.
the guy is prolific. He's just so talented. I can't believe it. I can't imagine how long it took you all to come up with the rules and everything. It turned out so good.
It was a lot of time, and it was so good. And I feel like Josh's character design is just like, so he does such a good job of creating all these different diversity crew of characters that feel way different.
They're
And
so
just
animated. Yeah.
have their own
Like they're
personalities
just
and stuff.
oozing with
Yeah.
personality.
Yeah.
Josh is all about the poses, and he's had us send him poses sometimes where he's like, can you like do this thing where you're like, and so I'll take a picture. And I don't know if he's just like kidding with me to do it, to be like, he's doing stupid stuff. Let me.
That's so funny. So yeah, why can't he do it? Interesting.
Yeah.
That's the only reason photo booth exists on any Mac. I have so many awkward pictures in my photo booth, just me trying to figure out poses for an illustration.
Oh,
Well, hey, y'all, thanks so much for helping us kick off Board Game Social Club. We couldn't really have imagined doing it with anybody cooler than y'all, but we're really excited for what y'all did and for folks to get their hands on it.
We give everyone an official title in Board Game Social Club. So let's see, Queens. Y'all basically originated this thing and are the rulers of it. Queens of Board Game Social Club.
I want to be chairman of the board.
Chairman.
Sold.
Chairman of the Board
Motion
Game
made,
Social
Jen,
Club.
chairman of the board.
We have some
Seconded.
conflicting-
Pass. Or we have a
Yes.
quorum,
Yes.
whatever that means. We have one.
New members are welcome. We're getting new ones every day. Come on in.
Come on in.
Oh
You're
man.
welcome.
No, but seriously, thank you all. We had a blast working with you all.
Thank you so much. Y'all killed it. It was so much fun, and I look forward to more things that we get to make with y'all.
Amy and Jen, let everybody know real quick, where's the best way to find y'all and the stuff that y'all make?
Yeah, so we're at Hoodzpah Design pretty much everywhere, like Twitter, Instagram, all that. And then on YouTube, if you like live streams, we are just Hoodzpah.
Awesome.
Go buy their
Yeah,
fonts.
all the
They're
stuff,
great.
the pins,
They're
the
wonderful.
shirts, there's some mugs, all of it. And if you're looking for Board Game Social Club stuff, you can find it at keymastergames.com.